Good evening. Sorry I'm late here. We had a little technical glitch, but we are on. That's the thing that matters. I'm Jeff Lyons. This is the 14 First Alert Weather Show at 9 o'clock, and we're glad you could join us here this evening, albeit a little bit late. Hopefully you didn't give up on me. I didn't give up on you, and hopefully a few will come in here before we get done. The weather here is going to make a big change. We're going to get quite a bit colder. If you have questions about that or anything else, of course, you can post those on the 14 News Facebook page. I'll be glad to address those as we go along. Well, we got the rain that was promised, and we also got that big warm-up today. We hit 69 degrees, just a degree shy of the record this afternoon at Evansville Regional. Many of you in Western Kentucky had low 70s, so what a day. The great head fake, right? You knew spring wouldn't last, certainly not in early February. The rain that is now moving through, very light. We have a line of showers from about Dale, Indiana, down into Evansville and Mount Vernon. That secondary wave now moving across Western Kentucky from about Tell City all the way down to Madisonville. Picking up some showers there at Greenville, Hartford, Beaver Dam, and Utica. So we are getting those showers as promised. Not a lot of rain either, probably about 1/10 of an inch of rain if you're lucky. We need the rain, by the way. What we're looking at least short term, will be showers coming to an end here by midnight. Skies will clear somewhat, and it's going to get a lot colder. Be glad the rain came first, then the cold air, as we are going to dip back down to freezing by tomorrow morning and then stay in the 40s during the day Wednesday with sunny skies. Weekend rain still on the books, and our trend is holding at least to have rain for the weekend. I'll show you that here in a moment. Let's talk about the short term, and that rain moves out here after midnight. We clear during the day tomorrow, and then as we approach Thursday and Friday, the clouds return along with some rain coming down from the northwest. So we will have at least a few more showers possible. Rain-wise, again, we're not looking at another event, so to speak, for Thursday night, just a few sprinkles. Over the weekend is our best chance for more widespread and significant rainfall, maybe an inch or more in spots. And then we have another run at lower 60s next week. So spring again teasing us as we go into the middle of next week. 50s across the area now. We're at 49 in Fairfield. That cooler air will continue to filter in tonight and get us down to around freezing by morning. Right now we're at 50 degrees. The winds have shifted to the northwest, so that means the cold front has come through. And look at that, 69. The last time we had temperatures in the 60s was in the first part of January, and 69, that is a really, really out of the ballpark warm maximum temperature. If you think that all the way back in 1898, we hit that level at 70, it has been eons, literally, over 100 years since we've been that warm on this date. For February thus far, we've still kept our snowfall total there well above average. By about 7 inches, nearly double the normal snowfall, in other words. And our average temperature, despite today's 69, is still trending much lower than normal, or colder than normal here for the month. On the satellite and radar picture, we have clouds and rain just scraping up here to the Ohio River and extending all the way down to the Gulf. That cold front will continue to push down into the southeast tomorrow, and that will allow high pressure to build in. Actually, it's the other way around. The high is pushing the cold front through and also delivering that more seasonable air. That means temperatures in the 40s. On the GFS model, our next chance of rain shows up on Saturday, coming up out of the southwest. This is Saturday evening, around 8 o'clock or so. Western Kentucky still looks to be the best zone to get the heaviest rainfall. And you'll see how amounts kind of taper as you go farther north. Through Saturday night, early Sunday, then, that system will continue to move to the east, and we will be on the backside of it by then, still picking up some rain early Sunday before we dry out Monday and Tuesday. Now, the models here, at least the GFS model, is still hinting at an inch or greater rainfall. The European model, and just for full disclosure here, our European only updates once a day. The GFS, we get 4 runs of that. And so the European is going to be a little bit older data, and it basically bypasses the tri-state with that rain on Saturday and Sunday. I'm not buying into that just yet because both the models have been a little flip-floppy. Earlier today, the GFS, if you're watching Arden, or even Byron this morning, had pulled the rain much farther south. And now it's right back in our doorstep. And you know, we kind of went through that with the winter storm, where it was on, it was off, it was on, and we eventually, of course, got the snow. So we know, of course, if you're a regular viewer here on the weather show at 9, we show all these models daily and compare and contrast and talk about it. That's just an essential part of the forecasting process, is to watch those trends. All right, for tonight we drop down to 30 degrees, rain early and then clearing, and then tomorrow up to 45. It'll be sunny but chilly out there. Valentine's Day, some rain in the evening, 53 Sunday. Next week we have highs potentially back into the 60s, which will be kind of nice. The longer range going up through the 24th of February, keeping us warmer than normal and a little bit wetter than normal too, perhaps, although the better chances for rain or precip are just to our north. And our pet pick tonight, kind of a sad story here. This is Cheyenne Hammond's dog Trixie, who passed away here last month in January. So sorry to hear that, Cheyenne, but we can still enjoy a picture there of old Trix. So again, my apologies here for being a little late. Let's get on here and see if you all have any questions that I can address. And let's see. Here's Cheyenne right there at top. Good evening, Cheyenne. Jeff Miller had 1/10 of an inch of rain out in Savaw. That's in line with what we were expecting. Thanks for the report, Jeff. We really appreciate that. Suzanne's glad I'm on. Yes, I'm glad I'm on too. We're all in that boat. Zach Seitz, is Evansville getting severe thunderstorms next week on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday? Too soon to say, Zach. You're our severe weather guru here, right? You're looking for those first storms of the season. It's way too far on the horizon. And actually, if you're looking at longer range model data, say the GFS, if you want to look at a kind of a proxy for thunderstorms, not necessarily severe, you can look under the convective tab and check out, I would use the supercell threat or supercell index. And again, that doesn't mean we're going to have supercells. It just kind of lights up areas that would have thunder. Shorter term, you can use the lightning density on the HRRR, but that's a short-term model. Okay, believe me, it won't. Okay, now we got everybody talking about that, about severe weather, but there's no indication of it next week, and I wouldn't expect one at this stage. Okay, we got everybody answered there. All right. Let's move ahead here. Got a little science corner for you. This one has to do with kind of a winter checkup, right, where we are in the winter. Now, you know, we've been in a La Nina pattern, and just to refresh your memory, although most of you are probably pretty versed at this, El Nino is when we get warm water in the Pacific off the South American coast. That has a ripple effect over North America and tends to lead to a drier weather pattern and suppresses the jet stream or forces it south, so stormy and wet across the southern tier of states. But on the other hand, La Nina is when the warm water moves out on the trade winds there. We get cold water upwelling along the South American coast there to the west and the Pacific side. And in turn, we typically would expect a wetter than normal pattern and a stormier one too, with that jet stream dipping down. Sometimes we get some cold outbreaks in there. So with that as kind of our background, La Nina pattern in place, this is where we actually stand. And you'll see it's a far cry from what I would call a typical La Nina winter. We have not had a wetter than normal month since October in the last fall. And December was exceptionally dry there, and then January and now February, at least the trend has been for drier than normal as well. So, you know, of course, El Nino, La Nina, they're simply patterns and there are expectations. It isn't a forecast and it doesn't always play out the way we think it will. Another big area here is snowfall. Typically in La Nina years, if you look back at the last 9 La Nina years, the snowfall has come up pretty short most of the time. 2000 7, 8, we picked up, I think, 11 inches. 2010-11 was the biggest snow year, a little over 15. But here we stand at 14.7, and we're a little over halfway through winter, so we could easily surpass that if we have another storm, snowstorm or two. Of course, that's uncertain. We're certainly not looking at snow this week or this weekend. And just for greater context here, I told you we've had 14.7 inches of snow so far this year. The next year closest, and these are the snowiest years since 1947. So you see it progresses down. The snowiest was 1970, by the way, in case you're interested. We had 37.9 inches of snow. That was the year that we had snow in April. I think it was on the 8th, the 6th or the 8th, we had an 8-inch snowfall that year. But anyhow, more recently, you'd have to go back to like, 2005, we had 22.6. 2003, 21 inches of snow, and here we stand just below 2025 last year with 19. So those are, again, the snowiest winters that we've had since the snow record began in 1947. There undoubtedly were snowier winters, especially 1918. Those are not archived, and the data is not searchable in the database. Snow records simply weren't kept, at least not in the same way that rain and temperature data was. And just as another point here, record March snows, we have had a few big snowfalls as late as the end of March there, 17th and the 19th. So we are not out of the woods yet with chances for snow here around the tri-state. All right, let's see. A few more questions came in here while I was talking. I think it was just one down here. Laura, great watching from Dawson Springs. Just got home from work and it's raining. Yes, it is. And it will rain a little more here before things start to dry out overnight tonight. So I will have the full forecast for you, and I will be on time at 10 o'clock. The news starts at 10, you know, whether you're there or not. This starts whenever I push the button, the right button. So anyhow, thanks for watching our streaming show here. Remember, we stream every night at 9 and every day at 2:30 to give you another option there to get a full weather forecast. Thanks for watching. Please stay safe and have a good night.